Welcome to Brain Trainer's TQ8, the trainer's QEG that gives you the specific information you need to start training in a matter of minutes. I'm going to show you very quickly some of the key points. This is the screen you'll see when you open the program. It allows you to create a new map for a new client or to open one that's currently been recorded. In previous versions, only one computer could use the software. The TQ8 will allow you to install the portion of the software that will actually create the maps on one computer, but you can install the program without that access on any number of computers. So when you've saved a map, it can be available on a variety of different computers. When you first get here, the first thing to do is to go to Settings. You go to this window, and it allows you to choose where you want to save your files automatically. Really important, if you have BioExplorer, or if you have Brain Trainer for BioEra, or if you have Brain Trainer 2, any one of those will record the assessment file in the format that you need to bring it into the TQ8. And you can tell the TQ8 that you want your output, your training plan, to be in the format of whichever program you're using. BioExplorer has different names for some of the protocols, as does BT4BE. And there are also some options which are available in BT2 that are not in the other two programs. In TQ7, you have been able to put your software on a single computer. With TQ8, you're still going to place on one computer the file that has the ability to actually create a map. But you can put as many versions of it as you want to at no additional cost on as many computers as you want to, so that you can open maps on those computers and see what the training plans are and so forth. Another difference in the software is that where previous versions have done all of the processing in the program on your computer, TQ8 uses a different technology. We have a server that has all of the training rules on it. So we can adjust the rules, change the rules, add rules without you having to download another version of the software and install it. Updates do happen automatically, but they won't be required as often as there will be changes. And the changes in the rules, once they've been placed on the server, will automatically appear in each new map that you create. That makes the process much faster, and it also allows us to keep updating the program so we always have the latest information. To start, let's create a map. Now it's asking me here if I have chosen a place. I could choose what's in that particular area. Or if I have it somewhere else, I can search from another location. In this case, I've already got it set up. And you'll see it doesn't show me anything in this window, but it does tell me the name of the client, the assessment number, and the date. So I select that folder, and very quickly, the software adds the client report. One note about the client report: previously, it has been a .csv or comma-separated values file. Now, in TQ8, it will be a JSON, a JSON folder. And when you receive the report, you'll be able to choose to save it as a JSON. When you do that, the client report will automatically appear here. It also shows us that we have 5 recorded files. And so looks like we're ready to try it out. We can tell it to load. And the first thing that happens very quickly is that we can see our maps up here. The eyes closed, eyes open, and task for each of the sites that was recorded. The software has already selected a threshold. If you're using BT2, the Brain Trainer 2 software, you won't even need to look at this because the BT2 allows you to record the assessment without noise and without artifact. So it will automatically pass. But if you're using other software or if you want to change something, you can do that here. If it looks good as it does now, I can just go ahead and send it to the server. And in a matter of about 5 seconds, there is my completed report. So what this includes is the summary report. You can see that across the bottom bar, you can see the names of the various different views of the data. The client report allows us to see information about the client and about the problems, the category of problems that the client wanted to resolve. And as we scroll down, it tells us whether the data quality was good. It shows us the major categories that are most important. I can also, as I scroll down, I'm going to get written material. And the written material can be in two forms. One, as we see it now, is very detailed. It explains what brain activation patterns are, what some of the options are, what we're looking for, and so forth. And that's something that you may choose if you're going to send this report to a referral source or something like that, or if you're interested in reading it yourself. But then you can simply click the reduce text box. We can now see that the material under frequency patterns leaves out all of that explanation. It only has the blue areas, which tell us about this specific brain. As we scroll down, we can see all different kinds of categories. They tell us that poor alpha blocking is found at the anterior sites and tells you which ones they are and tells you what kinds of symptoms are likely to be related to that. This is very, very useful for most trainers, certainly for if you want to share information with a client or with family or with other trainers, because it summarizes everything in pretty plain English. A new thing is the goals page. This is very important. In whole brain training, our goal is to change the things that brought the client for training. So up here, what we have is the opportunity to set 6 goals. I would sit down with a client and say, okay, here are the categories that you listed as being most important in your client report. So once I've chosen this category, then I come over to the symptoms. So I'll just choose energy levels are low. And you see now that that's selected down here also. So once I've completed these 6, I simply click to create a tracking page, and it lists those 6 symptoms and where they were rated in the beginning from 0 to 5. It also shows them to us on the graph down here. At the end of every 5 sessions, I can simply go through, or the client can go through and re-rate each one of the symptoms, and it will automatically graph the changes. Now, as far as getting the plan, you have 2 different ways of doing that. For most trainers, especially in the beginning, start off with the Autoplan. If you click on Autoplan, it will give you the 5 training blocks. These are, you do the first block in the first session, the second block in the second session, and so forth. The idea being that with whole brain training, you want to train everything at the same time. So there are multiple different training protocols that are listed here. And the training protocol tells you, here's the first active site, here's the second active site where you're going to put your electrodes. Here's the reference. Do you use linked references? Yes, you do. What protocol do you use? You use frequency, amplitude. And notice that this is using the BT2 protocol types. Tells you it's going to be a 2-channel protocol. You're going to train with eyes closed and eyes open or back and forth. You'll inhibit 2 to 8 hertz and you will reward 15 to 18. This is training slowness in the brain. And so you literally set this up, do 7, 8, 10, 12 minutes of training this protocol, switch your electrodes and do another 7 to 10 minutes training this one, and then switch to this. And that's your session. It's possible for you to choose one of these and move it. So by clicking and dragging, I could move this one down into this category, into this block. When you finish, you say, I want to create a plan. Notice also, by the way, that if you're using a 2-channel amplifier, you can click this box and you will only get 2-channel or 1-channel protocols. If you don't click it, you can also get 4 channels like this one. So we say to create the plan, and it gives me the plan, the same information that I had before. And this is in a format that can be printed. And you can choose, if you have HEG and are doing that in a session, you can include that, or if you're not using HEG, you can remove it and it will not be a part of the training plan. The options is different. It allows you to ask the program to tell you most, if not all, of the protocols that seem like they might be most important for each of these blocks. And then you can literally go through and you can say, I want that one, I want this one, and this one. And that will become your training plan. You can edit them, or you can move them by dragging and dropping as we did before. But only the 3 that you select will appear in the plan. So once you have your training plan, then you're ready to go. You can load the data into the TQ8, verify that it looks good, send it to the server, receive your plan back, and click the Autoplan, print out your training plan, literally in a matter of 5 minutes or less. It's very, very fast, and it gives you a very sophisticated training plan that is personalized to the individual client that you're working with. If you're interested in looking at more about the brain, you can do that by starting over here on the Analyze. If we click on Analyze, this is something, if you've used TQ7 or even the TLC assessment before, you probably recognize this page. It has a lot of information in tabular form. Some people like the tables. They like to be able to look at the numbers. The histograms page makes it possible for you to graphically look at the information. And this is looking at it in terms of the actual number of microvolts of activity. I can see how they change as we go through the different tasks and as we look at the different frequencies. I also can look at the data in a different way on the maps. The maps don't tell us the absolute values, but they do show us the relative values. This is the nose, these are the ears. You're looking down at the brain from the top. This is where the midpoint or CZ is. So this is a very helpful way of getting an overview of seeing if there are particularly areas where there might have been head injuries or things like that. The heads page allows you to see for each of the sites that you recorded, for each of the frequencies, delta, theta, and so forth, starting here at the top, what the percent was or what the actual amplitude was on this map. Synchrony is very important. This is coherence and synchrony, the ability of the brain to share information properly, but also to be able to operate efficiently, independently. So there are a variety of those, and the most important things are that you have a report that you can share or read and understand. You have the training plan that you can develop either automatically or you can go to the options page. And then the more you're interested in figuring out why you're doing a certain thing, especially after you've gotten more comfortable training, you have the same pages that were available in the TQ7. There is also, as I said before, the goals page, which is new, that allows you to establish with the client specifically what your goals are and to track how you're improving them as you go along. When you finish this, you can save it, although it does save automatically every time you make a change. If you want to save this to a folder with the original data, you can do that. Some of the items you can print, and if you want to go back to your home, you can do that by clicking here. Ask you if you want to save or not. I'll say no, I don't. And now I'm back here ready to do another plan. So this is the TQ8. I think it's a dramatic improvement over what we have had. And together with the BT2, these two are both going to be even more amazing in the next 3 or 4 months. If you have BioExplorer, Brain Trainer for BioEra, or BT2, because there is the option of subscribing to the program for a month at a time, I strongly suggest that it's worth going and purchasing the subscription month by month, try it out, see how you like it with the programs that you have, and then see how the whole brain training process actually makes a difference. We look forward to working with you. Hope if you have any questions, you'll feel free to let us know. Thank you very much. Goodbye.